Hey boys and girls, this is Miss Granado here. I just wanted to start this video and talk about your binder. So this is your binder. Each of you has one. You've also got a cover that has your name on it, and then it also tells you the order of your subjects and how to organize your things. So this says I can keep my work organized: reading, writing, math, science, and social studies. And then there is a picture of me here, or my Bitmoji. And then it'll tell you that my teacher is Miss Granado in second grade. So in case you ever need to spell my name, it's right here. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do right now is we're going to zoom in and see what is inside of your binder. So let me switch my camera here. All right, so here's your binder, and so I'm going to borrow Jean-Lucas for right now. And so as soon as you open your binder, you're going to get information. So this right here is your pink koala card. It's Velcroed, so what you're going to do, you can pull it off. It will have your name, it will have your student email, your lunch number, how to contact the front office, and then it'll even have my email too. This card is super, super important, which is why I have a little Velcro sticker here so that you can just stick it right back and it doesn't fall off. Okay, do not lose this pink koala card. It's just like your bus card or your car rider card. When you lift it up, on the back of it is going to have your QR code. This is your code for Clever. So anytime you log in with anything for Clever, it's on the back of your pink card. It has your grade level and your name, and it is pink because that's our grade level color. So it's right here on the inside of your binder. Do not lose it. Okay, so as soon as you open it, you'll see this blue notebook. This is your response notebook. So when I mean response, this means that you can write in it after I ask you a question, or you're going to write your observations and things like that. So I have a label here. The top half, since we have a big sheet of paper, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of draw a line across, and anything that we respond for, oh, excuse me, that's the school bell. Anything that you respond for in reading, let's say I tell you a story and I want you to write about it afterwards, up at the top, we'll split this in half and you'll write the date, and then you'll write your response, your answer, your paragraph, draw a picture, whatever you need. Then when we get to science or social studies at the end of the day, we will use the same paper that you used that day, but then we'll use the bottom half. So that way we can try to save as much paper as we can. Okay? And just like all your other materials that I'll be giving you, please do your best to keep these used just for school. Okay, try not to take this and use it as a drawing notebook or start writing in it at another time. Keep it for school, okay, and learning. All right, this first, these are called sheet protectors. Sheet protectors, you can slip paper in and out of it just to keep it protected. Try to keep everything in the sheet protectors that I've already given you. This first one is blank and it's white, okay? This is for dry erase. So dry erase meaning your expo markers, things like that. So I can write on this, use it as a dry erase board, and then I can take my eraser and I can erase it, okay? So it's like a dry erase board. On the back of it is a bright green color. So whenever we're going to do a lesson, you can take this out. You can write your response. Let's say Miss Granado says, what is 2 plus 2? And then you show your work. You can hold it up like this for the green to tell me that you're ready. And then when I say, okay, show me your work, then you can flip it over and then you can show me your answers. Okay, so this is your dry erase board. You will also have an eraser inside of your bin. Okay, and if this marker ever runs out, you can always go to the Dollar Tree and hopefully get another one. Okay, remember, dry erase. I'm going to close these back up. Next, you'll have some notebook paper. So this is lined paper. So this is some extra for you. Maybe you want to write some notes. Maybe we'll have an assignment where you have to use a sheet of paper, and then you can put it in some of your folders later. So if I keep turning past my paper, then I'll have a divider. The divider kind of organizes everything and tells you what's coming next. So this divider says reading. So when I flip it, the first binder is blue. This is your reading binder. So anything that you'll need for reading in your work, you can slip it into the folders here if you want. And then next, our next divider says writing. So when I flip it, you have a green writing folder. So in writing, we do Lucy Calkins. And so this is your writing folder. When you open your writing folder, there are two sides. There's one side that says stop and one side that says go. This is where you're going to put certain papers and stories, and I will tell you about that in writing. Okay. After writing, you have a lot of sheet protectors in here. These are some posters and anchor charts that we'll be using for our lessons. Try to keep them here. Okay, I will tell you all about these in the first week, all throughout writing. Okay, and then there are some charts here that can help you with spelling. Here are some checklists that we'll be using to make your writing even better. Sometimes there are two-sided. Okay, if these accidentally slip out because you turned your notebook upside down, just carefully place them back in or ask a parent for help. Okay. Another tip, if you want to, you can use, if you have tape at home, you can tape the top if you want, just to stop things from coming out. Okay, and then we also have another picture here that we use for writing. The reason that I want everything in sheet protectors is because sometimes I may take you to use your dry erase board and come over here and write on it to do any checklists, and then you can erase it. Okay. Sometimes I may have you come over and check things off. Sometimes I may have you come over and circle things that are important. Okay, so let's say we're practicing BR. You can circle things. Okay, that's what's so great about these. And then we can erase. Erase. Okay, I'll keep these clean for you, Gianluca. All right, so after writing, like on the front cover, it said math was next. So here's a divider for math. Math is going to be in a red folder. Okay, so when you open it up, you also have pockets. Now in math, I've got you some other anchor charts. I've given you a number chart. This is your 120 number chart. Starts at 1, even though we know we can have a 0. But when counting, it goes all the way to 120. We'll use some math activities. You may need your chart. Okay. Again, we can write on it if we need to with our dry erase marker. All right. Behind it, it's kind of upside down, but again, you can always take these out if you need to work on them if it's hard to write in your binder. This tells you some different activities you can do with your number chart. So if you ever finish work early and you want to practice playing with your number chart, here are some activities that you could do. Okay, and you can always put these back because they have holes. All right, next we've got a number bond. We will be talking about number bonds. This is going to be important to be able to take out because I'm going to be showing you that number bonds can be turned sideways or upside down, but the idea is still the same, part whole. And there is some blank space for us to be writing some equations and blank space on the back. I've also given you tens frames. There are 2 tens frames here. So in first grade, you probably did a lot of single tens frames. In second grade, we're going to move to 2 tens frames and more. On the back, we're going to be working a lot with number lines as well in second grade. So I've given you 2 number lines to work on and some examples of how we're going to be using them. Okay. And then I've also given you a hundreds chart. Oop, let me show you the hundreds chart. On the front, it's labeled hundreds, tens, and ones. On the back, it's blank. Okay. We'll be using this to draw on, and we may even be using this to use any of your manipulatives like your chips that I have put in your containers. All right. After math, we've got science. Science is going to be your yellow folder, and I've labeled it science. Anything that we do for science, you might have papers, you might have some observations, and you can use the pockets as well. Okay. After science, we have social studies. Social studies is going to be your orange folder. Inside your social studies folder, I've already given you something. These are called your weekly readers. If you did these in first grade, that's great. In second grade, these are also online, which we will be using a lot online, but I wanted you to have the magazines. These are all the topics that are covered in second grade. Okay, there are actually different weeks. So this says week 1. Okay, if I open it, I can pull it apart, and then I'll have week 1, and then I'll have all the other weeks that I'll need, week 2. So these are all the different topics that we'll be using. So they kind of put these inside together. So do your best to keep it all together until I tell you to pull it apart. Okay, later on there will be some that you can pull out by yourself and read on your own just because they're really fun. Okay, lots of great information, and on the back they even have activities that you can write on. Okay, so these are your weekly readers. They're it's a thick stack, so it kind of fits in your pocket really snug, but if you're careful, it will do it. All right, now in the back of your binder, there are some extra papers that are really loose. If you did Lucy Calkins writing in first grade, you may recognize these. These are a bunch of different papers or styles of papers that you can use to write your stories and make books out of them. Okay, if you have staplers at home, if you have tape at home, after you write your stories, so let's say this is my little book. I have my beginning here. I use maybe 2 sheets of paper, and then I put some more of my story on the back. And I actually have 4 pages here. Then I can staple it if I wanted to and have a complete book. Once I've finished my book, that's when it's going to be important to go back to the writing folder, which was what color? Green. And then I will figure out which side my paper needs to go on. If I'm working on it, it'll go on one side. If I'm finished with it, it'll go on the other. And I've given you a bunch of different ones here. There are some big ones. Just notice the lines are a little different on each, but each one also has a box for you to draw on. So this is your Lucy Calkins writing paper. So this is great for different types of stories. Try to save the paper, check the back to see if you have space to write on the back. And then hopefully maybe there'll be another pickup time. I might give you some more. If you ever run out, that's why I've got notebook paper in the front of your binder. So if you notice, as I go through my binder, I always take small parts at a time. I take a few folders at a time and I turn it slowly. This does not have to stay in your binder, but for now it is. Your important koala card, your notebook paper up front if you lose it. Okay. And that is your binder. Okay. All right. So this video will be online just for you to remember what is inside your binder. And let's see. Whoops. Let's go back to me now. All right, so I will be teaching you about this binder the very first week of school, so make sure you have this. And if you ever forget how to keep it organized, or if it falls apart and you want to put it back together, you can always watch this video. All right. So again, let's stay organized. We're going to be accountable and bring this to class every day you get online with me, and keep your work very organized. All right.